10 to 15,000 protesters that took a 24/7 cycle over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This weekend, the numbers are down around 1,000 trucks, around 5,000 protesters, and while there was some activity on Saturday, there was almost no activity on Friday or on Sunday. That is in direct reaction to our stepped-up enforcement, our surge and contain, and our aggressive intelligence and investigation operations that have been taking place over the last 4 days and will continue until the end of this demonstration. What particularly has occurred of a significant nature, we went after the funding. Our efforts combined with the city's efforts eliminated the GoFundMe. $10 million are no longer accessible to the demonstrators. There are other funding avenues that we continue to aggressively go after through intelligence, information, coordination with financial institutions, and all 3 levels of government. We will be relentless in pursuing the funding that has enabled this demonstration to continue to this point. We're going after the fuel. We're going after any vehicle conveyance, including horseback, people carrying jerry cans. We are arresting and seizing, and we are interdicting fuel going into the demonstrations. Last night was a major public order operation. We tried to end it through negotiation, as we always will do in every aspect. When that failed, we went into a public order operation. It included covert assets, as well as investigation and intelligence assets. 7 people were arrested and charged criminally. Thousands of liters of propane and fuel were seized, and we took out an oil tanker and the entire footprint of the staging area at Coventry Park. That includes hot tubs and saunas and anything else that was down there. We've erected fences in that area and are going to secure that area so there are no more incursions. Over the course of the weekend, through negotiation efforts, we peacefully and fully resolved the Confederation Park encampment. No arrests, no use of force, no injuries, no deaths, no riots, no encampment in Confederation Park. It is gone. We have fenced in that area and reclaimed that territory. Expectation setting, let me be clear. Every time we knock something down, there are attempts for it to pop up in 4 or 5 other locations. We're rapidly deploying our resources whenever we get a sense of another fuel depot, another staging area, or anything else that enables the demonstration to continue. We send resources in there, we reclaim that property, and we allow ourselves to get incremental advancements towards the end of the demonstration. Over the last 4 days, in addition to those operations, they will continue on, to be clear. We've been seeking additional resources provincially and federally, and of course municipally. We've been working very closely with City Manager Steve Kanellakis, the Mayor's Office, and our board in order to seek additional funds. There is a formal request that will be sent to the Mayor's Office in the next hour, requesting a significant increase in police resources, civilian resources, as well as requests for significant increases for bylaw offenses, fines, and other enabling orders of government to allow us to more fully and effectively and quickly, as well as lawfully and safely, end this demonstration. We are turning up the heat in every way we possibly can within our operations and enforcement, as well as in our engagement of all 3 levels of government. Every available Ottawa Police Service officer has been working for the last 4 days. Let me repeat, we have canceled days off. There is nobody on a day off getting rest over the last 4 days. Some officers are on their 14th day straight of 12 hours in a row during the coldest snap in Ottawa in the last 10 years, working outside continuously. No officers are on days off. Everyone has been working. We are stretched to the limit, but we are 100% committed to using everything we have to end this demonstration. We cannot do it alone. That is why I have been advocating for all 3 levels of government to bring whatever they can bring to bear on the permanent, sustainable, lawful, safe resolution of this demonstration. The OPP, the RCMP, at least 7 different municipal police agencies have embedded their officers within our incident command structure. That has allowed us to get the relief we need to move Ottawa police officers into the aggressive mode that you have seen over the last 4 days. We need more. We are grateful for what they have provided, but we need more. We are advocating for more levels of government to do more things around provincial, interprovincial, and national strategies to address what is happening here in the nation's capital. We'll be speaking to Council within the next hour to lay out the resource requests that we asked the Mayor to send to the Provincial Solicitor General and to Public Safety Canada to significantly increase our resources so we can significantly escalate our enforcement and interdictions in and around the demonstration sites. Let me be very clear about one thing. As hard as we have worked and as much as our people are on the breaking point, the community has worked as hard or harder and are closer to their breaking point. The stories coming to me are breaking my heart. I have my own officers who live in and around those areas, and they and their children have not been able to sleep. They and their children have not been able to go to school. This is crushing for those residents and their businesses. It has to stop, and we are doing everything we can possibly do to stop it. We need more help. We're asking for that help. We're starting to receive that help, but we need more to get this done. Last but not least, I want to thank the members of this police service, every single one, civilian or sworn, frontline or executive. We have been 100% full out on this for the last 10 days straight, and we will not rest until it's done, but we need more help. I thank the frontline men and women who've been out there in sub 30 degrees Celsius temperatures for 12 hours straight. I thank our communications operators who've been receiving hate and threats all day long, 24/7. I thank our financial people for trying to put together the resources to sustain this. I thank everybody and anybody in our community, from councillors to BIAs to service providers to the not-for-profit sector to residents to school teachers, to make this the most livable thing that we can to get through it. We cannot do it alone. We have not been doing it alone, but we are making real strides, and we will continue to aggressively pursue that in every aspect going forward. Thank you very much, and I'd love to take your questions.
The protesters said, we're here. The protesters laid out their plan well in advance before coming into Ottawa. Yes, they're turning up the heat now, but all of these plans, they said they did exactly what they said that they were going to do. And a lot of Ottawa residents say this is a failure of the Ottawa police, and ultimately the responsibility lies with you. Why is this all happening the second week into the game?
Thank you very much for your question. This is an unprecedented protest. I'm not aware of anybody who has any experience in managing large-scale demonstrations, whether they be a police officer or whether they be a public official, who has not already gone on record stating very clearly this is an unprecedented protest, never seen in Canada, and I've heard from colleagues around the world, very rarely have they ever seen anything like this. So I'll just finish answering the question. Thank you. So yes, there were certainly indications around which this would be a demonstration. All of our negotiations with the core convoy stated that they would be here on Friday and they would leave on Sunday. Those negotiations were well in place days in advance before they came. While there were fringe elements that said everything from insurrection through to negotiation, our core negotiations were a demonstration for 3 days in the nation's capital and the return of those vehicles and demonstrators to the parts of Canada they came from. That is what we planned for. That is what we executed. There was a success around containing that. As it turned into more than a demonstration, we have pivoted, and we pivoted immediately. We needed more resources to deal with an occupation than with a demonstration. I have worked continuously 18-hour days to get those resources. Our partners have started to bring those resources to bear. And as they come in, and as we reduce the size of the footprint that has been in place for the last 10 days, we redeploy those resources. Now we can go on the offensive. That's what we've been doing to great effect.
Just to follow up, just for clarification though, Chief, are you saying that the Ottawa police were caught off guard, that the protesters stayed as long as they stayed?
So the Ottawa Police Service have been able to quell the large demonstration that came in. As it's turned into an occupation, we've been able to pivot and get the resources to go on offense to remove that occupation while still managing the elements of the demonstration. We have seen the challenges to our neighborhoods and our businesses. We've seen the challenges to our officers in delivering on that. We are making significant progress since we've made that pivot over the last 4 days. We need more resources to drive those successes even further, and we need more levels of government to play their role in the overall sustainable end to this demonstration.
Chief, why did it take 10 days for the Ottawa police to start confiscating fuel from the protesters?
I'm not sure that's an accurate statement. We have been...
It is though, Chief, at no point in time.
Thank you very much for your question. We have been interdicting the fuel to the extent that we can. We did not have the resources early in the week. As we get more resources, we're able to do more interdictions. That's why we could do the operation last night to the scale that we did. We need to maintain and increase these resources so that we can not just get on the fuel, we can get to the trucks themselves.
Police chief, there are still demonstrators filling their trucks with fuel. We spoke to protesters at the Coventry site this morning after last night's raid about how they still have 2 days worth of heating fuel and they're confident they'll be able to replenish that. What do you believe last night's operation at the site accomplished in terms of bringing this demonstration to an end?
Thank you. Excellent question. And again, we've been trying to say this. This is not a simple demonstration where if you deal with one set of charges or one particular location, that's the end. There's a level of sustainability, financial capability, determined commitment around whatever the range of causes, and I've lost track of all the range of causes. Where we get a success in one area, we get an immediate counter reaction in multiple other areas. It's not like a consecutive movement, end that, then deal with that, and then deal with that. That has been the challenge from the beginning. That is why the current structure of this police service, the funding and resources of this police service is not sufficient to deal with all of this. We need more resources, more help. With what we've got, we've made significant impact, but we're going to need a lot more to really get on top of this situation.
Chief, if you guys need any resources. The chief actually has to go to prep for the police service.
I'll take it. I'll take this question. Thank you very much.
And that'll be
Thank you.
exact resources you need to get to an end to this. How are you going to get
That letter is being drafted to the mayor. I'm sure it'll become a very public document very soon. I'm sending it to the mayor. He will be sending it to the Solicitor General and then on to Public Safety Canada. We've had meetings as of this morning with those two levels of government. They know what is coming their way. They will have it within the next hour. Those discussions will continue on, no doubt, this evening.
Should that have been sent last week though?
We've been making requests since before they arrived in town. We've been receiving resources as everyone gets an understanding of the level that we've needed. But we're not going incremental anymore. We're asking for a major push of resources to come in the next 72 hours. Thank you very much, folks.